Okay, you're gonna have to try and bear with me on this. Trying to, because you don't have a biblical background. That's why you guys get lost on this stuff. So I'm gonna try and put this together. So these two babies. Now they're telling you here's their names. Two babies found in boxes above the ceiling in a funeral home. Okay, well the ceiling is what? It's between floors. So that's kind of like in the indication of in between dimensions, realities, life and death, or whatever. But let's stay away from that for the time being. It's a completely coded story. The golden rule fucking funeral home. This thing stinks. Let's do this. So here they are. They're calling them Baby Boy Doe and Baby Doe. Okay? If this is a repeat of the story that I think it is, then I'll explain it to you. In biblical, Saturn is named, he's got a bunch of names, 1,000, million, but one of them is Jacob. Jacob, later on, if you look here, Jacob was later given the name Israel. That's why Saturn and Israel are the same thing. Is considered a patriarch of the Israelites. Remember, there was a dude named Saturn. See, this is where people get lost. There was a guy named Saturn. A guy named Saturn. And then there's the planet Saturn, and then there's the reactor Saturn. So there's three different entities here. Okay? So, but it all relates back to the same thing. And notice that he was the third Hebrew progenitor whom God made a covenant. Okay? To, to get done whatever was supposed to get done. Who knows? Only those that write the story know what it is. So then we look here, and we have to look at the name. So they're saying that the one kid is named Baby Doe, and the other one, they're not telling you the sex, which is androgyny. It's just Baby Doe. This one, they're telling you it's a boy. This one, they're telling you they don't know, which is androgyny. In the story of the two pillars, or the two brothers, Jacob's brother, okay, Jacob's brother, listen how they word this. And it says, and they called his name Esau. Okay, so they called his name. His name is Esau. His twin brother came out, okay, and his name was called Jacob. So one is called Esau, the other one's name was called Jacob. So one is called, they wrote this way intentionally. This is the name of the guy. This is just a name that was given to an androgynous person. This is the stealing of the blessing. And then this goes back to the story of Isis and Osiris and cutting off, wanting to get the dick for the power. It's the same story. So one is called his name is Esau. The other one's name was called. In other words, this is just what we're going to refer to you as instead of this being your real name. And because Jacob is the thief, which I'll show you, our good dead friend Robin Williams made sure that you got that if you knew. There it is there, the movie he made, Jacob the Liar. You notice they changed the K for a C. All right. So one is an actual person. The other one is an androgynous being. Okay? So the two are supposedly brothers, and these are the two pillars, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, if you read here, it says in Genesis 27, Jacob uses deception motivated by his mother Rebekah to lay claim to his blind father Isaac's blessings that was inherently due to be Esau's. This story to me sounds like they're rehashing the old story all over again. They're telling you that one is a boy, and then they're telling you the other one, they don't know what it is. In the Old Testament writing, it's telling you that the guy that was real was named Esau, and the other guy that was the androgynous was just called. That's why they wrote it backwards. He called his name They called his name Esau, and the other was, his name was called Jacob. You don't flip it like that for no reason. This is the same story as Isis and Osiris. It's the same story as the two pillars, and it's right here. And here it is here, Jacob the liar, Robin Williams, your buddy there, who I couldn't stand. I never thought that fucker was funny for 1 second. This is all about the stealing of the reality of perhaps this world being a pocket, like I was telling you last night, a pocket universe and the real one. A real reality and a fake reality. This thing plays out on so many fucking levels. It's so deep and on so many levels. And the fact that they went to the trouble to already name these kids and make sure that, you know, one is a boy and not what the other one is really reminiscent of all of these stories about the same story, about the only story that's ever really been told here. That's been busted into a billion other stories that Hollywood has made into the movies, telling you the exact same story as the bigger one. The reason that every religion has some truth in it, because it's all a fraction of the real story, but it's not the complete. They're just giving you a bit of it. This is why they all wear black, because it's all the same story about Jacob the liar. And we know here that Jacob is named Israel, and Israel is the Phoenician name for Saturn. It's all a big circle, literally, and it goes round and round. This is why they named these kids these two names. A ceiling, the reason the kids are in a ceiling, I think, or why they say that, is because it's between floors. So it's in between life and it's in between death. You're not in the basement, but you're not in the living room. You're like in between. This is just, you know, I just put it together. I think this is interesting. Of course, they have to put the 60 years old in there. When, you know, when he had the kids or whatever. But, yeah, it's the same story round and round. Like that stupid song by Rat, Round and Round. And Wheel in the Sky keeps on turning. And what goes up must come down. And, oh gosh, how many stories how many merry-go-round? How many songs are there about things that go round and round? Thousands. And they're all telling you the same story. The same thing that you're looking at right here.